I'm curious, since you've seen so much golf at Royal
Hmm.
Melbourne. I mean, you've played a lot of golf there as
Yeah.
well. But you've seen a lot of tournaments there, including fairly recently. Does a particular round come to mind as the best you've ever seen someone play at Royal Melbourne? Somebody who just like unlocked the course and really for 18 holes really had mastery of
I played the day Ernie shot 60, so I guess that was pretty good.
it.
Um,
he was pretty good at golf
yeah.
for a few years there.
I mean, watching Seve, I've watched Seve play pretty much every hole of the 78 PGA, and that was beautiful to watch because that was MacKenzie built that course for. I mean, MacKenzie loved the way Hagen played golf, and that was the sort of he wanted players to have room and space. He didn't like tight constricted golf. So then he loved Hagen, loved the way he played. So he was designing for Hagen in a way, and Seve was Hagen. He came. 40, 50 years later, here comes. Here's a guy who needs some space to show how creative he is. But that was Seve at his best. So watching Seve play was amazing. And so I would say the best golf I've seen there was Seve and Lydia Ko. Lydia Ko won the Women's Open there by, I don't know, 7 shots. And it was just genius stuff. I mean, she took that place apart. It was amazing how well she played. She'd figured out the angles. People say angles don't matter. Royal Melbourne, they matter because the shot from one side of the fairway can be way easier than the shot from the other side. And it was genius the way she played beautifully and just picked it apart. The third on the East course, which was, I don't know what number it was because there've been so many ridiculous routings of the composite course. People just lose track of. So the third on the East, the first day, she hit it left off the tee a little bit, was into the wind, I think. She had, unusually for that hole, she had quite a long second shot down the hill to a back right pin, and she cut this hybrid thing into about 6 or 8 feet. And the next day, she holed a 9-iron on the same hole. And she won by 7 shots. It was just, she made, and Stacey Lewis is a famous, not famous quote, but she said, Royal Melbourne doesn't reward good shots. And she was right. It rewards great shots. And, whilst the rest of the field were complaining about how difficult the course was, Lydia was just putting a clinic on. So, in terms of not specific rounds, but 2 tournaments played, that was amazing. And I saw Hale Irwin play the last 6 holes in 1978 when he shot 64 in, I think, the first round. And I watched him play from the top of the hill on the 4th west, which was the 14th hole. And he had a string of amazing shots from there to the finish, just like flushed it. That was the first time I saw someone play golf that was like, my God, I didn't know anyone could play golf that well.
Hale
And it
Irwin.
was he just flushed it from the top of the hill. It was a 2-iron, and he had a great shot into the hole where Lydia Ko held the 9-iron. That was the next hole. He had a beautiful 7-iron in there. Then the par 3 up the hill, the 4th, he had a beautiful shot in there, and just, I mean, he shot 64. It was obviously, and he won the tournament. But
Yeah.
that was kind of memorable.
Yeah, the long clubs off the fairway, Hale Irwin. I
Yeah,
mean, unbelievable.
yeah.
With a 2-iron and a fairway wood.
Yeah, he was you could see him hit that. Well, it was 4 years earlier. He hit that 2-iron to the last hole at Wingfoot to win the US Open.
Yeah.
And it was like,
right. Yeah.
When you see it in person, it's like, wow, that guy can really hit it.
Right.
And the other great round, of course, was I watched Tiger play Abraham Answer in the singles in the President's Cup, and that was
Yeah.
he was clearly the best player there that week. It was 2019. It was that's why pro golf is better when it's on proper golf courses, because it brings out the genius in the best players. And that was it was MacKenzie designing for Tiger. It was a perfect golf course for Tiger Woods. You had to think about where you were going to hit it, and you had to hit it there. You had to control the Elvis. I caddied for Elvis Smiley in the New Zealand Open at the start of last year, and we're out with Steve Williams, the last day, and Elvis asked Steve, what was your favourite tournament to caddy? And he said Augusta, because most courses you've got 4 or 5 yards to play with. At Augusta, you've got 1 yard, and that might have been an exaggeration, but not by much. And Royal Melbourne, you've got some holes you've got 1 or 2 yards to play with, and and which goes back to the Stacey Lewis point, was it doesn't reward good shots. No, you've got a yard to play with, and if you miss that yard or 2 yards by 3 yards, instead of being 8 feet away, you can be 40 feet away, and you think you've hit a good shot and you're 40 feet away, but no, you missed it by 2 yards. Not good enough. Which is why it's such a genius golf course, and why it still holds up in tournaments, and why there aren't so many crazy rounds, because it's so difficult to get the ball near the hole, especially when it's windy, because the little undulations in the greens, and you hit the wrong shape and get the wrong bounce and get on the wrong side of the slope, and a shot that on most courses in the world would be 15 or 20 feet away, it's 50 feet away, and now you're going to 3-putt, or you're going to struggle to 2-putt. So that's its genius, really.
Yeah.
So when you see someone like Tiger or Seve or Lydia Ko play that, or Hale Irwin play that course well, it's brilliant to watch, and it's memorable. I can still see those shots Irwin hit and Seve hit and Lydia hit. You can still see them why they were so. Lydia played the 18th on the West course with Charlie Hull. The pin was in the front right corner, dogleg right, and she hit it down the tree line over the bunker into the right half of the fairway, the right corner of the fairway. And Charlie hit a 3-wood into the middle of the fairway. But now she's back with a 5-iron into the green, off a right to left slope to a right pin with the wind off the right. And she hit a decent shot, but it was 40 foot left of the hole. But Lydia was 30 yards closer down with a better angle, and she hit it in under the hole with an 8-iron, sort of 12, 15 feet away. Charlie putted it down 6 foot short because it was a really fast putt. Lydia missed. Charlie missed. Charlie made 5, and I'm sure she walked off the green thinking, I didn't hit a bad shot there and I made 5. Well, you didn't hit a bad shot, but you didn't really ever have it in the same position Lydia had it in. And Lydia made a really easy 4. And Charlie was middle of the fairway, middle of the green, but walked off with a 5, kind of presumably like, I didn't do much wrong there. But there aren't many holes in the world where she'd have made a bogey off the 2 shots she hit, but she did, because neither of them she didn't take on what Lydia took on.